Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $5 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience.
They're an experience.
All around you. And welcome back to another episode of the Filmistines, the fastest growing podcast in the ocean.
The ocean.
Yeah, you like that?
I like that.
And I'm joined today by my mega friend, Lucy.
I'll take it. How about your prehistoric? No, that makes me sound old. I'll take mega. I'll take mega friend. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back.
You can join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for brand new episodes of the Filmistines covering your favorite movies and your most hated movies, including Oppenheimer, Dunkirk, Evil Dead Rise, Jaws, Barbie, Chicken Run, Robots, Transformers, the new one, whatever it's called, with the gorilla,
Rise of the Beast,
Rise of the Bitches,
Guardians.
all these Guardians, the Guardians trilogy, all on 3 different episodes. Very nice stuff out there. Go support us at patreon.com/filmistines. Come give us $1. We're trying to eat here. We have a special episode today.
We always have a special episode today. Today, specifically.
Well, it's special because it's a movie and someone created it and it's a piece of art, so it's special.
Hey, this one's special for me.
This is a interesting movie at the very least. I hate to say it every time, but I'm interested in a lot of movies, and a lot of movies do something interesting. You know, so many moving parts, just like kind of like video games. There's always something neat about them, and that's one reason I like doing this with you and watching movies. But today we are covering The Meg 2 in the Trench. What's it called?
The Trench.
The Trench. I think it shares the same title as its book counterpart, which is so stupid that there's a book. But I love it. That's so cool.
How is that stupid?
It's so stupid.
This.
I got news for you too later.
Gosh. All right.
Good news.
Oh,
Good news for you. Good news. Yeah, so this film was directed by Ben Wheatley, not the same guy as the first one. That's fine. I would like to see a trilogy or a saga or whatever directed by all the same person, but I know that's a tall glass of water to ask for.
Is that not usually what happens?
No, definitely not. It's very rare when that happens. It's a commitment, and directors, unless it's their baby, kind of like Steven Spielberg with Indiana Jones. He directed the first 4, and then the 5th one just came out, and he gave his blessing and everything, but he saw how bad it was, and was like, oh, we're not doing this. Yeah. And I guess it wasn't his proper, it was kind of his and George Lucas's brainchild.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of interesting, right?
Didn't know that.
Yeah, and we saw a similar thing kind of happen with Star Wars, of course. I'm sure you think George Lucas Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
He, I think he did direct the prequel trilogy, the ones that came out when we were little, and then he's not a director, and I guess he couldn't find anyone to direct them. I don't know what that was about. If there was some kind of egomania thing, like I can do this better. I don't know too much history about that, but he did hire people for the original trilogy, and it shows because those are filmmakers or directors, proper directors. He's a George R.R. Martin type where he can flesh out a world and give you cool characters and everything, and he's not a director. So that's kind of a funny thing. He asked David Lynch to direct the second Star Wars, I think, back in the day.
Oh.
And David Lynch was like, nope.
Yeah, I don't see David Lynch.
I don't either.
Doing a Star Wars
I don't
movie.
either. But it's not because of what you may think. He did it because it was already a pre-existing movie franchise. He didn't want to be part of a sequel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That also makes sense.
Yeah.
From him.
And so he did Dune instead. which was a dumpster fire, but not entirely his fault, of course. Dune was Kyle MacLachlan? Is that his name? Kyle MacLachlan?
The Home Alone dude?
No, that's...
No. Who's that?
Kyle, that's Macaulay Culkin.
Oh.
No, Kyle MacLachlan is Agent Dale Cooper.
Oh,
Dune was
yes.
his first movie.
Okay. That sucks. I guess I haven't watched it. But
Well, that's where their relationship... It's cool because that's where their relationship started. Him
Yeah.
and David Lynch, and they're bros. They're bros.
Yeah.
But The Meg 2, one of your most anticipated movies of the year.
Heck yeah.
I don't know if it was on your list. I don't know if we knew about it then. We should write this down and put it on the wall to check it. But I don't remember you bringing this up, to be honest.
Oh, it was. It was in my most anticipated movies of 2023. Okay. Yep. It was actually towards the bottom out of my top 10.
Was that in order?
I think I put mine in order, yeah.
Okay. I don't think I did. I think I didn't, and then it ended up just being in order.
Yeah, it was number 8 on my most anticipated.
Okay, yeah.
It's pretty low.
Well, we have been blessed with the Meg 2, The Trench. Meg 2, The Trench. It's
Meg 2, The Trench?
Meg the 2, Trench the?
2 Meg, Trench the, yeah.
Trench Meg 2.
Trench Meg 2.
Meg going to the trench.
Meg 2 fighting in the trench. No, not the sigh. Not the sigh. Oh my god. I knew I didn't want to talk to you about this movie here.
Do I sigh a lot when I don't like a movie?
I don't know, but that sigh sounded like it was about to...
I didn't... I meant to say, I guess what I mean by that is, do I sigh when I have bad news? Is that...
Yes.
I'm a movie character.
Yes. The way you just sighed did not sound like you liked this movie.
This movie is an interesting movie. Like I said in the very beginning, I will say off the top that I appreciate this movie was not filmed like a cologne commercial, like the first film was. And I went on and on about how it was filmed like just a weird ass commercial, and everyone had this perfect lighting on them, and even though they were out in the ocean and stuff, and it's, that was okay. That was it's an interesting specimen for sure. The first film. I appreciate that this film was filmed like a movie. All right. I think the performances were a million times better.
Agreed.
I think this movie totally embraces its outrageousness and stupidity, which I can't, me, I can't help. If a movie knows what it is, I can't really help but to appreciate it. So, all in all, I think this movie is cool.
All right.
I don't love it or anything. I don't like it really in particular, but I appreciate this movie for sure. Like I wish we would have gotten one by the same director. What would that have looked like? I don't know. I'm super curious what you have to say about this movie, because you are our local shark movie expert, of course, right? Or at least aficionado, I think I said before.
Yeah.
We get some shark in this movie. It's a it's a movie. What do you think about this, man?
I'm glad. Okay, you didn't like it. That's fine. But you appreciate it.
And I had a good time watching it.
And that's even better. That's all I can ask from you right now for this movie.
Let me tell you what my mom said you need to watch next. She said you need to watch Sharknado.
I need to watch Sharknado?
Yeah, and I told her no. We're not watching Sharknado.
We're not watching Sharknado?
She might listen to this episode. She probably will. She can subscribe to our Patreon and write in. You can request films at the $5 level on our Patreon at patreon.com/filmsteins.
Yes, you can. And we'll have to watch it and review it and
be happy about it.
And be something about it. Don't recommend The Matrix, please. Yeah,
The Matrix is... I might... If you're recommending The Matrix, you might need to subscribe at...
The 21?
There's a custom amount, too.
Oh,
maybe
my gosh.
$50 a month.
$50 a month.
We'll cover the Matrix films for you.
This movie was awesome.
I'm glad to hear it.
I very much enjoyed this movie, and we watched it at the movie theater opening weekend
on IMAX.
On IMAX? Did we watch it on IMAX? I don't think so.
I highly doubt this movie is available on IMAX.
This movie was great. Okay, it's not your typical shark movie, but also these aren't sharks. These are prehistoric sharks. They're giant prehistoric sharks.
That's right. It's a shark movie meets a Mission Impossible movie or something like that.
Yeah, I've never seen those, but
like
sure.
Like a crazy action movie.
Yes. We get action from the start, and we keep action throughout the whole movie. And I like that. Yeah, we do have a little bit of human stuff going on here, but I mean, I think you said it very well. They know what kind of movie they had, and they embraced it. So kudos to them for that. I do think one of the worst things about the movie was probably some of the dialogue, but you know, again, that's okay. You gave me enough Meg
and underwater scenes
that wasn't a problem. You even brought new, what were they, like Komodo dragon / eel looking lizard things, which were also prehistoric. So that's pretty cool. I did read about some reviews that were very confused about why there was a dinosaur in the trailer. How'd you feel about that? How'd you feel about the dinosaur being in the beginning?
It's obviously very misleading. I understand that they were probably trying to tell you that these things are also very old, but we didn't need that. We could have had that from just them being, you know, something of the trench, right?
Yeah.
So an audience is going to then think, this is how like subconscious it is. The audience is going to think, oh, there's an island with dinosaurs still on it, you know, kind of Hollow Earth style, or King Kong, or Kong Skull Island kind of style, because the audience, we know that something prehistoric lives in the trench, right? So that logic is sound.
Yeah.
And so we just need to know that these guys also come from the trench. And so I have a major problem with that, because that's bad storytelling and bad filmmaking. And so, but it is kind of funny that they did that, because they start off the movie with that, right? Isn't that how the movie opens up? Almost Jurassic Park 2 style, where we're on this island with these random, you know, things going on. If there would have been people out there, like having a picnic or having a party or something, that would have been a big time reference, which they should have, I don't know, it wouldn't have been any more confusing. I guess it would have confirmed that yes, T-Rexes and other dinosaurs are still on this island somewhere, if humans were also there, right? Yeah. Modern humans. And so, okay, I think the point is what you said when we were at the theater about they're just trying to tell us that these things are also old, but I have a small problem with it.
Small problem?
It doesn't hurt this film really in any other way. This is not a film that's trying to give you a Shin Godzilla kind of perspective on, like, how do we deal with these megalodons? You know, it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't.
Yeah, I had absolutely no problem with it. You give me a dinosaur, you give me a T-Rex, I don't care where you're placing it if I'm watching a movie about giant monsters. Also, this is an intro. I mean, intros are important because they're kind of setting the tone, they're setting the mood. But at the same time, they just gave you 5 minutes of a T-Rex eating that Komodo dragon eel thing, and then the T-Rex getting eaten by the Meg. And that's it. That's all they gave you. Okay, maybe there were some implications there, but get over it. It was just 5 minutes of fucking giant things eating each other. Monsters.
To be honest, I think this movie would have been even better if the T-Rex was there.
Yes, and honestly, if there is a Meg 3, I think they might play with that.
Well, now that you bring it up, it's too early to say, of course, because Meg just came out last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But I fully expect there to be a Meg 3 after the first weekend's performance. It made $150 million.
That's good.
Very, very good for this kind of movie.
Yay!
Yeah. I think the first Meg made around 500 or so million on like $100 million budget or something. Is that what we said?
Yeah, the budget says 130 to 178 million. Okay, but the box office is 530 million. Yep.
Yeah, so it's it's of course it's gonna be too early to say at this very moment. I know I've read that they are pretty hesitant to greenlight it right away because the Meg is not. It's not a Marvel movie. It doesn't have this weight to kind of just predict where things are gonna go. It's a real movie. It's a normal movie. So
yeah,
that's just how things normally are. Unless you're obviously very confident, but you don't spend $150 million on a movie without knowing that you're going to get some money back, to make the next one. Unless you're James Cameron, of course. But he's good to go because he made all of his money back and then some with the release of the second one, so we can finish out his 5 movies of Avatar.
5 movies?
Yeah, there's going to be 5. They've been planned
the Blue People Avatar?
Yeah, they've been planned since the first one, so, we got to...
Okay.
We got to admire it and not say he's cashing in on it or anything. The weird thing with him was he was waiting, I think, on the technology to catch up to his vision. And I saw the second one. It's a good looking film, but it's not worth the wait. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know what to call that because that's not pretentious. That's not what pretentious is. It's a little too self-indulgent or something.
That's an eye roll. That's like,
yeah, it's an eye roll.
All right, dude. Okay.
Yeah, chill.
Yeah, just chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Not pretentious. Just okay.
Yeah, so I fully expect there to be a third one. And from what I've read, people say the third one or the third book is way crazier than any of these other two.
Yes.
So I would expect dinosaurs. I don't know. I have no idea, but I want to say, don't even read it. But if you read it, you can read it, whatever.
If there is, this makes this scene even...
It helps
cooler.
validate it,
Yeah.
Which is crazy for this kind of movie to do. That shows a little bit of confidence. We got it's a thing going on here.
Let's just put this right here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that. If that's the case, but yeah, I wish they just would have had the T-Rex pop up,
or maybe a teaser. I guess maybe they can't tease you if the third one's not greenlit.
Yeah.
But, maybe, I don't know, a print? Like what do dinosaurs have? They don't have feet. I guess they're feet. I don't know. Footprint? T-Rex footprint?
Or a tooth.
Or a tooth.
Because you can maybe think, this is, you think this would be more fossilized. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's fossilized, but not to the point that you'd expect from a 300 million year old beast. But it's only been fossilized for a few million years. It's like, oh, this T-Rex was around not too long ago.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. Or it's placed somewhere that we think it's maybe the Meg's tooth or something. But it could be the T-Rex. Like, wait, why is it on land? Something. I don't know. But that'd be awesome if they, bring that back. Bring that in, I guess. Tie that in. I don't understand the outrage, the being lied to in the trailer. Okay, yeah, I get it, but aren't you guys complaining about trailers showing you everything already?
Yeah.
You don't want this? You don't want some trickery? You don't know? Okay.
I prefer the trickery.
Yeah, you want trickery or you want spoon-fed? Which one you want? Because that's what you're getting.
Yeah, I don't totally mind. Just personally, I don't totally mind being spoon-fed the entire plot in a 2-minute trailer. I don't love it or anything, but it's not the end of the world because I'm not crazy. I don't really care about spoilers too much. But I think I've said it before that I wish trailers would practice misleading the audience a little bit more. Depends on the movie, of course, now, because remember, with Beau's Afraid, in retrospect, the trailer, it's misleading, of course, if you just watch it at face value, but after watching the movie and then watching that, it's like, you have to go watch our Bo's Afraid episode. It's our most popular episode too, actually. It's a really great episode. It's probably my favorite episode we've done, just because it's my favorite movie of the year. So it's, it's not okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it makes that trailer hit in a different way because of the meta commentary I think that's happening there. But there have been movies famously, I think Shrek is one of them, that's known for putting fake scenes in and just kind of capturing the mood and tone of the movie. And when you watch it and you're like, that scene's not even in here, but it delivers in every other way. So it doesn't fucking matter.
Care, yeah.
But that comes with, unfortunately, to all these filmmakers out here, that comes with confidence and vision and direction, right? And a lot of filmmakers don't have that in them. A lot of directors don't have that in them because they're just shills acting for the producers.
Boom. Said here. Who said here?
Yep. What's your name? Ben Wheatley? Shill. I'm just kidding. You're good. You good. You have fun making this movie, obviously.
Dude, I had fun watching this movie.
What did you think about Jax in this movie? She had the biggest...
Okay, let me stop you right there. It's not the same girl.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be the same girl. It's not supposed to be Jax. Her name is Jess.
Excuse me?
Yes. So I was right.
Her name's Jess?
Yes. And it's Jax in the first film.
Oh my God.
It's a completely different girl. Completely different character, I should say.
I think everyone who says her name has a little bit of an accent.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's
so
hilarious.
I'm thinking Jax. Okay, it's not the same chick.
Because I heard Jess the whole time.
I heard Jess sometimes. And then I thought I heard Jazz. And I was just like, or Jax or whatever. Because, you can kind of say Jess, Jazz, Jax. It kind of evolves into it. And now I'm just here. You know how you know how on like TikTok or whatever, or YouTube, you'll hear like people chanting or something. And if you see the word, you hear it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That's what was happening here. So I was thinking Jax. I was like, they changed Amber Rose or whatever the fuck her name is. And I was like, okay, I'm not surprised. I've heard she's hard to work with. And she was terrible. She was, the first Meg kind of sucks. And she was the worst part of it. She was the wettest, softest part of the turd that was the Meg one. What's her name?
Ruby Rose?
Is that what I said? Ruby Rose?
Ruby Rose is Jax from the first movie.
Okay.
The one you don't like.
Did I say Amber Rose?
Same person, really.
Who the fuck is Amber Rose? I don't even know.
Wait.
Amber Heard was the
Amber
other girl.
Heard. No. God damn. Okay, whatever.
She makes the face.
So I'm assuming your question is now void. Because I heard Jess the whole movie until we came out and you said Jax. And I'm like, holy shit, did I hear that wrong? They switched characters. Oh my God. Different way of seeing that. But then I read the wiki page and it says Jess. And then she's like an undercover whatever.
They must have never read kind of some filmmaking 101 book. When you replace a character, you can't use the same first letter of the alphabet. All right, what's the name of this girl? Sonya or something. You can't name her another J name. We're missing the J girl.
It's like J, A, two of the same letters that sound kind of the same. Nah.
Yep.
Because I would have been like, no, dude, it's this girl. But you said that, and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you might be right.
She had short hair, I think, and okay, so it doesn't really change too much, but other than what were they thinking when they tried to make her a turncoat?
Make her a what?
A turncoat.
What is a turncoat?
That she turned on everybody. She thought she was a good guy. You don't. After 5 seconds of meeting her, you're like, oh, she's a bad guy. Especially because the camera does its stupid thing. And it does it in such a way that it's like a cartoon or something. I don't know, like a small child's movie where the music changes when she enters the room, or they're talking to be like, there's a spy among us, and the camera tilts over to her a little bit, and you're like, it's her. And then you don't find out until like 15, 20 minutes later, you're just like, where's the setup? Like, it's so funny.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad betrayal turncoat here. Is she a turncoat or do you turncoat?
I hope I'm using that right. Don't look it up. You can write in and tell us if I'm wrong. I think a turncoat is someone it's a turn. You are a turncoat. It's a noun, and when you are a turncoat, you are thought at first to be on your side, whatever side that is, and then you are actually on the other side.
So like Snape, you're a Snape.
Snape's a little different because he's kind of a double agent, right? He's not really on either side. He's working on his own, in a way.
He's on Dumbledore's side.
Completely?
Yes.
Okay, so he's an agent.
And he's only telling Voldemort stuff.
Yeah.
Because he'll get killed. And he has to tell him the right stuff because if Voldemort found out he told him a lie, he'll get killed.
Yeah, so he's a single agent.
And there might be some spells making him tell Voldemort the truth. So he's bound by magic or he will die.
Yeah, okay.
So I mean, there's an argument there, because he doesn't like Harry, so...
Yeah, that's a complicated character. That's why Snape is loved,
Who loves Snape?
I love Snape.
Man, don't get me started on people who love Snape.
I don't love his Lily interest and his dislike towards James. That's weird. That's so weird. I don't like that he has a weird thing against Harry. I don't like that he has anything to do with the Potters. I wish it was just a weird relationship. Like, not weird, because it's weird with the Potters, him and Snape and Potter's relationship. It's just, I don't like that either. But his relationship with Hogwarts and Dumbledore and Voldemort and stuff is very cool and intricate. It feels like it probably is in the book at least. I feel like there's a lot of depth there. But I don't like the James, Lily, Snape triangle thing. It's fucking weird.
I mean, it's not too intricate in the book. He is just in love with Harry's mom.
Ugh.
And always,
all right, we're done.
Always has been.
We're done.
And that's the most stupid thing.
We're done. I don't want to hear it. I like Snape too much. I like Alan Rickman too much.
I love Alan Rickman.
He did an amazing job.
No,
Rest
man.
in peace.
And then people started saying always and getting the always tattoo.
Oh,
like,
no.
Shut the nah, man. All right.
with you.
All right, back to the movie. I mean, it was okay. Jess's betrayal, she was necessary to move the plot along. We needed her to be in love with the bad guy. When she fucking got eaten, that was fucking awesome. That was so cool. That was so cool. It's kind of like the scene in the first one where the Meg goes up and looks at the little girl. Of course she doesn't get eaten. But this time she gets eaten. Yeah. And it breaks through the glass and it's fucking awesome.
And it's also cool that we see that echoed right before when the little girl is the same little girl, right? All grown up?
I think so.
Maybe not same actor. But we see her in another corridor and the Meg, the Meg kind of moves towards her, rushes at her. And we get kind of a similar situation, but it doesn't bite at the glass. So it's fun. They embrace a lot of its stupidity at many different corners, including Jess's arc, which I don't like, but it fits. It suits the movie really well. And then we see that echoed. We see that with the first movie. We see the Meg come up to the glass with a little girl echoed too.
Yeah.
And then T-Dog, of course. Not T-Dog.
No, T-Dog is Walking Dead.
Yeah. I get my black guys mixed up.
Yeah.
And DJ's character went from being the most offensive part because it just, not in like an outrage kind of like I'm offended kind of way, but just offensive that we got to have a sliver more character in this guy in the first movie, right? To completely embracing the funny black guy. And then he's like, he has this whole paradigm shift in his mind between the first and second film and becomes he becomes an Eagle Scout. He becomes a fucking Marine. He becomes a jiu-jitsu master. He becomes, oh my God, dude. he becomes the best character in the whole movie.
Yes, it was so awesome. How many times do you take, kind of like the worst character, and maybe not worse in his acting skills, but like he couldn't swim, he was incompetent, he was scared all the time. Yeah, okay, he was your funny guy, not completely helpful. Into bam, he's got a backpack full of everything you're ever gonna need. He's like thinking ahead. He's fighting the bad guys, kicking their guns, like flipping them. And he can swim now. And everybody's like, what happened? He's like, dude, I got my shit together. And it's one of the greatest character developments in a movie. I have never seen that.
I've never seen anything like that either.
And it was awesome.
It's so ridiculous that it's genius. It's the most genius thing about this film, and you can't give this guy 100% credit. The guys who wrote this, and something like this had to be in the book. It just had to be in the book. The fact that we were messing with two different directors here, and I would suspect, I don't know. Yeah, I fully expect DJ's character arc to be in the book, and I can't believe that is in this movie. That arc between I can't believe it.
It's too smart for this movie?
It's not smart. It's not smart like in an intellectual way. It's really not. But it's just,
I'm sorry, but I thought it was genius.
It is. It's like the most stupid genius shit I've ever seen in my life.
Sometimes the most simple things
that's
genius. No one else is doing this, and they can. You have our dude Harry Potter. If let's tie it all back in. He's still a dumbass in the last movies. He didn't grow.
That's fair.
He's always had the courage.
He degraded.
Did he learn any new spells? Nah.
He kind of sucks.
He didn't study. He didn't get his shit together. He didn't learn how to fight. He didn't learn to use a gun. You know what I'm saying? Like, he stayed the same throughout.
This is like, DJ's character is like what happens in every video game. You start off not knowing anything, not knowing how to play, being stupid, and wasting your resources to becoming a god.
DJ went to fucking therapy. He took some classes. He got his shit together, man, and I am there for it.
It's crazy. It's unlike anything I've seen before, for sure. And I'm here for it. I'm here for the third movie.
Good.
Just for DJ at this point.
And the T-Rex, maybe.
And whatever else, comes to play.
Yeah, besides DJ, everybody else's acting was, okay.
I think the acting overall, though, was
better,
especially because we backed up on Jason Statham's, I guess, Jonas, and the romance between the mom. We backed up on that because that was stupid and forced, and but it did lead to a fine relationship he has with this little girl. It's whatever. But then at the same time, it's kind of funny, I guess, because the relationship between the little girl, Jonas, and the uncle was better than what we had with the little girl, mom, and Jonas.
Yeah.
So we win there too. Funny enough.
And you got rid of the mom. You basically killed her off. And we saw her. We saw the poster of the grandpa, and we knew he died in the first one. And then we saw her. Then we saw the mom, and it had the death date.
COVID.
Holy shit! Didn't even think about that. And I gasped in the movie.
And she's Chinese.
Damn. All right, I'm done here. But I gasped. I'm like, oh shit, we just started. You're already giving me T-Rexes. You're giving me deaths, unexpected deaths. You're giving me a badass suit. You're giving me this Asian uncle guy that has, the guts to get in this tank with the Meg after we just did that in the first movie. I'm in. I'm hooked. And it's action after action after action. And this is not your typical shark movie. Your shark movie has, you have a little bit more blood, you have more carnage, you have way more suspense. You have less shark, more suspense, really. And this was just action. I guess we saw a few people get eaten, but we didn't see blood. We didn't see a leg somewhere. We didn't see someone's arm dangling off. Which, don't get me wrong, I love that. But it wouldn't have fit this movie. Especially when we have creepy music playing when the bad guy's coming in the room. When the bad guy's so obvious. We didn't want, I'd hate to say it, an adult movie, like an adultier version of this. I don't want to say that, but just it's just different than your other shark movies. Because even our bad guys here, they weren't developed, but we didn't need them to be developed. I didn't need them to be developed. This would have made the movie longer if it were developed, and I would have gotten less Meg, less fucking eel thingies, less, Jonas trying to stab them with a fucking, I don't know what that was, on a jet ski. I don't want less of that. Just so you could give me more character development for the bad guys? Nah, you gave me enough. You really did. And you killed them off? Even better. I love when the bad guys get eaten or killed. They got their karma. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I guess it kind of reminds me of like a Saturday morning kind of cartoon. Almost G.I. Joe-esque.
Almost, yeah.
We're super camp, we have these outfits, and we have these guys who are just mega capable. And, the stupid bad guys who, for some reason, have some ounce of power, and then when it are confronted in any way whatsoever, they are immediately taken out. It's like, how did you even get to that position, Yeah, I like that Jess and that guy who looked a lot like
Danny Trejo.
He looked like a combination of Danny Trejo and the guy who plays Mickey Rourke. He looked like their baby.
Their baby. That's funny.
Yeah, he kind of looked like a discount Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't get, and this is a Danny Trejo movie. Like I could see him in this because he's in like
Don't say bad.
It's. No, he's in a lot of Robert Rodriguez films, and those aren't bad films, or they're not like, they're pure fun. They're just pure junk food. There's nothing healthy about them at all. It's just junk food to the max. It's like eating fucking cosmic brownies, and that's cool, And you got to be in the mood for that, or you just love it. But yeah, he looked like a combination of Danny Trejo and Mickey Rourke. That's who the two guys are. I'm glad you say Danny Trejo. You saw that. You could see that in him.
I could see it in him. Yep. That looks just like him.
You can see it. You can see Danny Trejo and Mickey Rourke combination.
Yep. I can. That's hilarious.
Danny Trejo also looking old. I like the way he's aging. Have you seen him?
Mm-mm. Yeah, I guess with the bad guys, I like how they made him kind of trapped too underwater, and just like all of the good guys, he's also, some badass action dude. So I like that we kept that too. They didn't make this dumb guy, bad guy. Like he's in on it too. He's got some cool tricks up his sleeve too. So beat that, Jonas. That was cool. I liked what they did here.
I guess another filmmaking problem there, but it helps. It weirdly fits in a lot of with the rest of the film is, how did he escape this underwater station? He just kind of reappears. There must have been another getaway thing.
No, he stole a mask, right? Or he grabbed a mask, but only his face was covered. And then he ejected one of those pods that go up. And he grabbed onto it. Like super badass.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh my god. And
he, which I thought that's what Jonas and them were gonna do, because someone was like, "Oh yeah, those pods send the things they mine up in the air," and I'm like, "Oh okay, I think that's how they're gonna escape. And then they didn't. I was like, okay, whatever. That was just me. That was what I would have done. And then this guy does it. And I'm like, yes. He's smart, dude.
I see. I must have missed that. No, that's awesome. I guess it helps fit his character and stuff too. Sick.
I'm telling you, this movie was great. And they not only gave you one Meg, they gave you a baby Meg. They gave you a Meg. They gave you another Meg. Then they gave you King Papa Meg. Oh my God. They gave me a bunch of Megs. You saw them up close. They weren't a shark because they're still prehistoric, so they look weird. They look weird as fuck. Their eyes do this weird thing that's so creepy. This dude is controlling a Meg with a little clicky pen. What the fuck? How did he not get eaten? I need more on this. I need to read the book. That's what I need to do.
Don't read the third one.
All right, I won't read the third one. And then we had I was reading somewhere it was a kraken. Was it a kraken? I just thought it was a giant squid. Is that the same thing?
No, not really. So a kraken is kind of a debatable thing. There's been krakens that are squid-like. There have been krakens that are octopus-like. There have been krakens that are humanoid-like, and they just are kind of like seamen that are huge. So the kraken is kind of a funny thing, but I think this was a little more octopus-like than anything because it had a bunch of tentacles.
Yeah.
So, not to be pedantic, I guess, between squids and octopus, kind of like monkeys and apes, you know.
Yeah,
but
there's a difference. I get that.
But yeah, this was. Is it a kraken? I feel like the kraken has to be of something of lore and legend.
Wiki says kraken.
So I think it's just another prehistoric animal or that's something that's been down in the trench. So not really, but I mean I'm fine with calling it a kraken because it's just a giant octopus. But I feel like it's kind of like calling a random hairy ape-like humanoid thing that's 7 feet tall, just calling it a Sasquatch, you know? I feel like it needs to, fit the profile of a Sasquatch, and we need a little more evidence on that. It can't just appear and be like, oh, that's a Sasquatch, because you're like, oh, I don't think so. I feel like Kraken requires a little bit more texture, but
I agree.
But
I was very confused on the Kraken thing. I'm like, no, and it's not fitting. Kraken's more like lore or myth, kind of in that direction.
Yeah.
But not Megs and dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a little bit confused about that. But, whatever you want to call it, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Fine with that. Then we have this Kraken octopus looking thing fighting the fucking Meg. Oh my God. It was squeezing him. I thought it was going to kill him. It didn't kill him. The Kraken gets fucking... Oh my... It's just awesome. It was just awesome.
That was a missed opportunity, though. The Kraken should have killed one of the smaller Megs, and then we got the big Meg to get him. Just to kind of show the order of operations here.
Yeah, if I was going to change some stuff about this film, now I sound like you, I would change that. I would have made the Kraken kill one of the Megs. That would have been very fitting. And then I probably would have made the uncle die at the end. Just to kind of show like, dude, I'm still a fucking giant. I'm still the fucking power horse. Alright, you have our boy Jonas here just destroyed my fucking ancestor. These are massive prehistoric creatures that have lived and survived. But we have this human killing them? Excuse me? No. And you get control back by killing the uncle who thinks his little clicky pen's gonna save him. I would have changed that. I totally would have changed that.
Yeah. I mean, good filmmaking chops right there. That helps. That works on multiple levels. I like that. You just reminded me of something I read online. Someone said that this is what happens when you order Jurassic World from Wish. you get Meg.
Who said that?
Some random bozo on Letterboxd, I think. It's pretty funny, right?
Please come.
The
on our
problem with
podcast.
that is, I think this movie's at the very least as good as the Jurassic World movies.
Oh my god, that's
Maybe with the exception of the
hilarious.
first one, because that's a little bit more of a tight story. But the second two Jurassic World movies, this movie kind of better. Is that a hot take? Not sure. I have no idea. I think this movie might be better than the next two.
I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong person to analyze and critique these kinds of films. I just love them too much. I appreciate them too much.
Yeah, I'm glad, because I know after watching the first one again while us doing this podcast and thinking about movies a little deeper and discussing them, you didn't like it as much.
Yeah.
And so of course, I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that you might lose some enjoyment here and there, but I'm glad that this movie was still, after all these episodes, after all these movies we watched and talked about, that you could still find enjoyment and junk food movies. Super. I think that's the best way to describe these kind of movies, is mega junk food movies.
I think what really helped was no forced love story, weird acting here.
Embracing what it is.
Yes.
I'm totally with you. I am happy to sit through a garbage movie if it knows exactly what it is. And we see a little bit of that with like the third Saturday of October, right?
Yeah.
The first one being better than part 5, of course, but there's something really satisfying and fun when a movie knows what the fuck it is. It makes me feel like people on this movie, people who made the movie, were having fun. It's like there's something really nice about that. So no matter how much I like it at the end of the day, because you're not going to be happy with my score, of course, because...
Oh, man.
But it doesn't, but it's whatever, I can enjoy...
You're not going to be happy with my score.
I can enjoy a 1 star and up movie, easy peasy. Well, half star, that means it should not exist, of course.
Okay.
Of course. Like Peter Pan, Teenage Kraken, Little Mermaid, maybe. Transformers, maybe.
Get out of here, Transformers.
This is some of the recent ones. I like how Jason Statham is this... He's like the Tom Cruise of B movies. You know what I mean?
That's funny.
Because he's in a bunch of stuff like this.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible, crazy movies. But they're all like... They're not even all low budget, but they are just all kind of lower production. Like, cheaper talent, cheaper crew, cheaper kind of thing going on. Just less ambition. Well, no, maybe I should watch that, but less art and more junk food, which is cool. I appreciate that because, of course, he's in one of my childhood favorites, Crank, where I think he has to every so often attach himself to a car battery to rejuvenate. That's the premise of that movie.
All right. I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah.
Besides, I guess I have to watch it.
It's called Crank, and I think the sequel is called Crank 2 High Voltage.
Oh my god.
It's so stupid. But they're classics. They're classics of the Jason Statham, which I guess I say it's kind of funny because he's part of the Expendables. Which is interesting because a lot of the Expendables are actual like big time, action heroes. And he's a big time action hero, but in B movies. So it's just kind of funny because a lot of those guys like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and I guess Jet Li. Jet Li's kind of like him too. I think Jackie Chan was in one of those. The Rock. I don't even fucking know. There's a lot of them. I'm not a big action hero fan, but I think those being so self-aware like that is kind of fun.
I don't think those are... What'd you call this? B tier? What'd you call this? What'd you call him?
Who?
Jason? Whatever. Statham?
B tier?
B tier?
Yeah.
I don't think the other people you named are...
A tier?
A tier.
Or
maybe just because I didn't watch them. They're all so old now.
Yeah. I like Terminator and Predator with... it's And
Oh,
Rocky.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
those
true. That's true.
those are big movies.
That's true.
Especially Rocky and Terminator.
Yeah.
Those are big movies. And of course The Rock now. I don't know why he
Nah. Fuck The Rock.
but he's like undeniably A because of for some fucking reason. I don't
Why?
The Rock is so bad. When I think of The Rock, you know what movie I think of? The Tooth Fairy. Or I think that's what it's called, where he dresses up as the Tooth Fairy. Is he the Tooth Fairy? I don't even know if he is the Tooth Fairy, but he dresses up as the Tooth Fairy, and that's The Rock.
When I think of The Rock, I think of, wait, is that The Rock or Vin Diesel?
You get them mixed up?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And I'm like, I don't know. And that's it. Oh, and then one of them looks like my uncle. Or I guess I thought that as a kid. I don't know. I don't know about now.
Just a big bald guy?
Huh?
He's just
Yeah, he's kind of buff. He's bald.
That's funny.
I think he like shaves his head because he got gray hairs, like super young. So he's like, fuck that, and just keeps it bald.
Dang, that's funny.
And he's, pretty buff, so I associate, and that's it. That's my Vin Diesel, Rock, and my uncle story there, and that's all I got.
Is that the same uncle who likes Fast and Furious?
Yes, it is.
All right.
And The Matrix and anything that girl is in. What's her name? The Resident Evil girl?
Mila Jovovich?
Yeah, her. He loves her. Whatever she's in, he loves.
I like her too. I wish she was in better movies. I mean, I know you love the Resident Evil films.
That's about it.
But I wish she was in better stuff. I wish her husband did better movies because she's in a lot of his shit. What do you think about the big fight scene at the end?
The whole third act?
The whole third act. That's probably the longest fight scene I've ever seen in my life.
I know. I loved it.
And I guess talking about it with you here today, I'm a little higher on this movie than I was leaving it. Not by much. Don't get me wrong. But I can't have too much fun here. But it's the big thing about this movie is I can't get away from. It knows exactly what it is, and it embraces it. And I hope whoever gets their hands on the third one, if there is one, I'm sure there will be. We can further confirm that after this weekend. After the second week, I should say. Mm-hmm. I hope they just continue down the same route. Yeah. I guess I hope the same director maybe is involved,
Yeah, embrace it. Go with it. Have fun, man. Just have fun. That's all I want from these types of movies. Action. You're not going to give me blood and gore and, humans getting cut in half. All right. Just give me action. Give me more monsters. Give me big monsters. And then you gave me that, and then we had people underwater walking on the fucking floor, the ocean floor. Are you kidding me? That's awesome. Then people get eaten. Everyone dies in like 5 minutes. And talk about also a really cool death. I don't remember what her name was. She was there for like 5 seconds, but her fucking, I guess her suit had a few cracks in it, really. And I don't know, maybe you can help me explain this here a little better, but was the pressure just getting too much from her being...
I think the pressure on the suit, on the face part, was becoming too much, and then at that moment, when it collapsed in, the pressure of all the water coming in, the weight of the water coming in. I know it doesn't quite... I'm not sure about the physics of deep water. I know it's not all about pressure of the water all, stacked on top of each other, but that does play a component up until a point. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure what that is because it spreads out across. But I guess it happened kind of like the reverse of a vacuum, where it rushed in super fast that it did crush her face.
Yes!
Crush her whole head.
It imploded, really.
Yeah, she basically imploded, yeah.
And it was awesome. And you didn't have to make it gory for it to be awesome. I understood what it did.
Yeah.
I know exactly what it did. I didn't have to see her face. I didn't have to see the other people sad around her. It was cool, man. It was really cool. They did that. They just did that.
And it was boom, boom, boom. It was nonstop. It was cool. It was cool. And they didn't force the loss on you.
They didn't have time.
They didn't have time. It's pretty cool how well plotted out this movie is. I don't want to say it's super well paced necessarily, but it definitely might be. I'd have to think about that some more. As far as like action goes, which is just kind of a funny space for my mind to work in because I'm not a fan of action necessarily, or normally I should say. It has to be like John Wick kind of stuff for me to really to tickle something in me, and that's pretty rare, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But it's just a real interesting exercise, you know. I can't help but to appreciate it. I really can't.
And I think you said it well when you said it's like a Saturday morning cartoon. A cartoon doesn't have time to think about death and if it's even logical, or you don't have time to mourn. You just gotta keep going. You gotta save the day. And you gotta save yourself. Just doing a little bit of research on the behind the scenes of this movie. They did film the underwater stuff, or water/underwater stuff, I guess in 3 separate locations. They did film in the ocean for some things. I guess the jet ski area place. They filmed that in the ocean, and then they filmed some stuff in a tank. Like they recreated this tank and added like a machine that does fake waves, and then they surrounded that with a green screen. And then they also filmed just in a green screened room, and you know, I guess that's where more of the underwater stuff was shot. And it kind of reminded me of like The Little Mermaid, and how this was more believable that they were underwater than our girl Hallie over there.
Which is so silly.
They were in suits.
Yeah, and that helps sell the believability, I think, because we don't see a lot of locomotion. It's just them kind of walking slow, moon style.
That's true. That's true.
So it helps sell it.
But at least the sea creatures were... I just don't know what The Little Mermaid was doing enough for me even to compare what was happening here.
Nope. They dropped the ball on The Little Mermaid, no doubt. And it helps here that the thing gets dark, right?
It's true.
And when the lights are on, they're bright. So we don't. It's really hard to get a good grasp on the area in that way, and its naturalness and stuff, and how it look, and it's clear, and it's the only thing that looked really gross to me as far as CG and stuff goes is their faces in the suits. They look really bad. It looks like their heads don't fit in there. Like it looks like they're on like a weird screen or something. You ever seen those images online where people will get a piece of paper and like laminate it or whatever, and then put it in a jar? Yeah, and it would fill with water.
I've done that.
It kind of looked like that. It just looked, the proportions were all fucking weird, and I don't know, it looked bad. It reminded me, of course, of the new Flash movie where, oh my god, dude, you got to see that at some point.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. Yeah, the suits did, even though the suits themselves were cool, and the concept of them were fucking cool, they did look off in the suits, but it was fine. It was fine. It's forgivable.
Yeah, it's such a small piece next to something like Little Mermaid where she's underwater for the first act. It's like she's a mermaid, you know, she's got water friends, she's collecting things and putting them in this water cave and everything, and it's kind of important that she looks amazing underwater. You know, it's just her for a lot of the movie, or a lot of the time when she's underwater. Yeah. And then, you know, Sebastian and the fish. Flounder, of course. How would I forget?
How would you?
So it stands out a little more, and it's very clear, you know, the water, and it's not dark or light. It's very, you know, visible. And then things look, so it makes, you know, it puts everything in the spotlight. and it looks terrible. At times, her hair looked okay. At very small moments, her hair looks terrible in 99% of this. All the hair does, and when it's in the water, it's just that's not how a hair looks, you know?
Yeah, and to add to that, I guess I just want to say how awesome it is that they filmed in the ocean and then they filmed in these water tanks. So these actors are working in the water.
Yeah. And we know that Jason Statham is, big time diver.
Yeah, apparently. Jesus.
See, even more, he's like Tom Cruise. He's like, we gotta do things like this, and he's the British Tom Cruise.
That's hilarious.
Or whatever, Australian. I don't even...
Not British?
Or New Zealand. I'm not sure. Okay, scratch that.
Those are made up words. Shirebrook, Derbyshire? No. Get away from here. Sorry if you live there, but how do you say those words and not laugh? How do you say those words and not sound like Doodle Bob? Shirebrook, Derbyshire? Yeah, but I don't know if I said it in the Meg episode, but it's worth saying again how much you have to appreciate some of these actors that are willing to work in the water. Because can you imagine acting? First of all, you're acting, and then you're acting like your scene is acting, scared or fighting or whatever with this invisible thing because it's a giant shark. So you're acting while trying to imagine there's this giant megalodon there. So that's another challenge on its own. And, getting water in your ears or having the director yell something at you. You're like, what? I can't hear you. I have water in my ears.
That's funny, yeah.
Or getting so tired. When you go swimming and then you swim, you have fun, you do your thing. And then you come out and you're exhausted and all you want to do is just eat a sandwich and take a nap. But these people have to do it again. Nah, man, like kudos to you people who act or have acted in water. Just saying. Kudos. Especially if you have a wave machine. I'm sorry, now I have to fight the waves with a machine you created? Oh my god.
Why were some of these performances better than Marvel?
We're gonna go there today. Alright, let's go there today. I don't know. Maybe Marvel needs to...
They could learn a thing or two. And Marvel needs to take a swim.
Go take some swim lessons.
Why do these Megs look better than the CG in Marvel? That's the better question.
Well, that's true. But the fins that we see swimming are actually real. Like I guess they're motorized. I don't know, but they're actually like real fins.
That's awesome.
Sticking out.
The fins look good. Yeah.
I'd be fucking scared out of my mind. First of all, if I'm in the water and all I see is a fin, I'm like gonna duck my head in to make sure it's not real.
That's spooky. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think they made a giant ass megalodon head for some of the shots. But more specifically, I guess the one where he stabs him in the eye with the thingy. So, you've always said how that the practical stuff always looks so much better.
And it can help sell the CG, too. Because you can have good-looking CG, but the moment someone interacts with it, it can kill it.
Yes.
And that happens in...
Transformers.
Yeah, that happens.
It does.
It does happen in Transformers.
I'm sorry, Transformers.
And if I remember correctly, that happens big time in Game of Thrones with the dragons. There's a couple instances where they're touching the dragons. I'm just like, wow, that looks bad. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that's what I'm thinking of. So yeah, but I mean that's great to hear. I would imagine that also was probably the case with when it bumped into something, it like interacted with like a cage and crushed it a little bit. I would imagine that was because that was like I was thinking when we watched it, I was thinking that looked pretty good. I'd have to see it again to confirm it. I was like, that obviously the cage is meant to collapse in that specific way. that's obviously, that cage is meant to collapse. And so it's, you just have a little robust thing running into it. Hopefully will, collapse in a nice way. And I think it did. It looked good underwater, at least. And it's cool to be. This is not a cheap movie by any stretch of the imagination, so I should not be impressed really in that way. But I am, because CG is just so rough sometimes.
Well, yeah, you have all these other movies that their CG sucks.
Yeah, when it shouldn't. Just like,
that have a similar, budget or whatever.
I'm just like, what? Where did this money go? But yeah.
Well, speaking of money, are you ready for my budget guess?
Yeah, man. How much do you think this movie cost to make?
I went $150.
$150?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good guess. You locking that in?
Yes.
So it says here in the Wikipedia that it was $129 to $139. See, that's a proper, like, if you're gonna have some kind of range or something, $10 million. That's something that's good,
Not 130 to 178.
No, dude, I think it was like, wasn't it more than that? That's too much still, yeah.
Yeah.
You should, I don't know what these editors are going on about. I don't know what the fuck their deal is. But you should, if someone says 129 million and then at a later date says 139, you take the 139. You don't need to put both on the record. That doesn't make any fucking sense. It's like,
yep.
It's not that big of a deal, I guess, anyways, even if they're off, I don't know why there's any fucking range for a budget. But yeah, nice guess.
Thank you.
So far it's gone on to make, or at least after I think roughly the first weekend, it made $157 million.
Okay.
So it's off to a very good start. It's already made its budget back. So if we could just get to 400 million, I bet you we're definitely going to see a sequel sooner than when we saw the first to second one. I would be willing to bet.
And we actually helped contribute to that one.
We did. We went to go to the movies. That was a better movie experience as far as like the movie experience.
Yes.
It was a better experience than Oppenheimer and Barbie.
Yes. I got to eat a pretzel. We sat in the seats where we could put our feet up on the rail. We sat in the front where we could watch the movie.
No film bros clapping over Christopher Nolan's jerking himself off.
No kid kicking me in the back of the seat. Good.
Right.
Good.
It's good stuff, yeah. Well, thank you, man, for watching this film with me. Thank you for going to the movies with me.
Are you going to tell me what your score is?
Oh, my score. I'm torn between a 1 star and a 1.5.
No. I think so far this is my favorite movie of the year. And you're going to give me that? Jesus. I came out of that movie theater just so... there was a smile on my face.
Oh, I remember. I was like, why are you smiling?
Yeah. I was so happy. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, this is great. And then you say 1 and 1.5.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Although I did think you were going to say some stuff that maybe would like lower my excitement. But nah. Mm-mm.
Like after we left?
No.
Or now?
During the podcast, yeah. Because sometimes you'll say, some...
things that you're like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And it kind of knocks it down. Sorry about that. But...
nah, it just gets me thinking. It's a different perspective that you need to think about. And then you say, okay, yeah, you're right. Or nah, man. This is awesome.
This movie embraces what it is. It understands itself. It's very self-aware in that way. And, its biggest flaws are obviously its storytelling. But that's the point. It's not trying to be Beau's Afraid. It's not trying to be Oppenheimer. It's not trying to be Barbie. Barbie didn't even know what it was. And it was made by a legendary director. But it's hard. It's really hard to knock a movie down a peg when it is so just on point, when it knows exactly what it is. And
how can you knock it down a peg if you're at 1?
How?
Yeah, that's a 0.
That's true. If I was to put this on like a normal ranking scale, like if I was like writing for a magazine or whatever or some outlet,
Okay.
I'd probably normalize this a little more into the 2s, like a 2, maybe 2.5, but not any higher. There's just no way.
Oh my gosh.
But on my scale, when character and the human condition and anxiety in films is so important to me, it's hard to, like, if the only film like this that has some of this energy that I love very dearly is RRR. That if you look at my favorite films I get a 5 out of 5 or 4.5 out of 5 or even a 4 out of 4, 4 out of 5. RRR does not fit those at all. RRR is like that's a mega special film, and I don't know if it's just because it's my first outrageous, just ridiculous Indian film, or if it's just an actually amazing film. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't seen very many Indian.
Well, RRR also has something important besides the crazy, ridiculous stuff.
It does.
Has a friendship.
It does. It has there's a lot of message in RRR, and
Yes.
it's beautifully acted. The fucking music numbers are
Yes.
nuts, and it's and it has some bad CG too, and it doesn't even take away from me.
Yeah.
And it's just it does operate on a totally different energy. That's why I say just a little bit. It does have a little bit of energy that you'll see in these kinds of movies.
But it is different from your other top 5s. I can agree to that.
But if you do approach it from like the colonialization, the friendship, the betrayal, the character part of it, it fits a little more.
Yeah.
And that's one reason it is so high. But it's such a fucking powerful movie.
Yeah.
It's probably the most powerful movie I've ever seen in my life. I don't know how else to describe that other than just being blown away by a film.
Yes.
So even I don't even think I'd give that a 5 out of 5. It doesn't talk to that level for me. But I think about it often enough that maybe it deserves a 5 out of 5, because a 5 out of 5 really is a special place that it needs to speak to me. It needs to live rent free in my head. That's what a 5 out of 5 is to me. A 5 out of 5 is not something I can just walk out of the theater and be like, all right, 5 out of 5. That doesn't happen with me. It's max 4.5. Max.
Okay.
Takes several months, several weeks, several months to get to that level.
Yeah, I give too many things a 5 out of 5.
Which is, why we work.
This is a 5 out of 5.
Good contrast.
I'm just
Mega
kidding.
good contrast.
I'm just kidding.
Mega good contrast. Yes.
No, I'm still thinking about it. I'm still thinking about what parts I didn't like that would bring this down for me. I don't think it's a 4 level, but I'm working there. I'm working in the 3.5 section.
Yeah.
So
cool.
it was awesome. If you can make me that happy watching a movie, you can make me keep the smile on my face the whole time I walk out of the movie theater. All right.
That's something.
That's something. It's something.
Absolutely.
If I would recommend this movie, that's definitely something. If I would rewatch this movie, that's definitely something. So.
And there's nothing, I'm talking to myself here too. There's nothing wrong with liking mega junky, junk food movies. Nothing wrong with that. I used to be obsessed with cosmic brownies until I made myself sick on them. And so now I have this weird thing about them, And so maybe I'm feeling a little bit of that here, because like I said, one of my childhood movies was Crank. That's a garbage movie, but it's it's cool. It's a cool movie. Your favorite movies can be a 1 out of 5. That's all I'm going to say. Just because they're favorite doesn't mean they're a 5 out of 5. That's what guilty pleasure movies are. That's why we need to embrace the guilty pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Okay.
Nothing wrong with guilty pleasure movies. It's being self-aware enough that this is not a great movie. This doesn't have any like artistic merit necessarily. Not saying this is artistically void of whatever, but there's something so just you just gotta get in the line, be in the flow, enjoy it. You know, you don't need to work for it. Because I mean, that's a whole other thing. Is I mean, I like films where you have to work to like them in a way. You know, so there's this whole negotiation and challenge to the art of enjoying and critiquing and loving a film. Absolutely. And you know, I try to play this meta game with the scoring and stuff, and it's just for me, really. It's funny watching your reaction or others and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not playing with you. You're playing with yourself.
I'm playing with myself, yeah. It's a game with myself. And
for sure.
I love it. I love playing it. You know, I love keeping my bar graph in order. So there's a little bit of corruption in me already, right? I love seeing my bar graph in proper order.
You're already, oh my gosh, that shouldn't even count. Get out of here.
Because it helps normalize my brain and where I'm at with appreciating the good stuff. Like the really good stuff, the stuff that truly speaks to me. And the only conspicuous kind of stuff happens in the 1.5 to 2.5 area. Everything else, the half and whole star it's just forget about it. And then 3 and up, it's just like, all right, those are good films. I could watch those again. I'd recommend these to the right people, if not everyone.
So you wouldn't recommend this movie?
Not to everyone, no. But to the right people, for sure, I would. But it's just that middle space just plays with me a little too much. It's hard to think about those films because some of those films I have a really good time. And for example, this movie's way funner than Uncharted, the Uncharted film. But Uncharted feels more ambitious and tries a little more to me, and I don't know, I appreciate that on a different level. Not more necessarily, but different. And so but the acting in Uncharted, it sucks. This movie on a performance level is much fucking better. The CG's better than Uncharted, I guess, but the story virtually the same. But like the pacing and action and stuff's much better in Meg, and so I'm torn, you know. But I want to give both of them the same score. I think 1.5. So I'm just like,
you're just trying to make your graph look pretty
or symmetrical.
That's what it sounds. Yeah, symmetrical, which is pretty to you. Is that it?
Sort of, I guess. It's not just that. It's a game. It really is just a game with me. Because I'm not trying to appease to the math gods either. The statistics gods, I should say. It's just a funny thing. But anyways, thanks for watching this film with me. Thank you guys for listening. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.
Go watch this movie. Go make the Meg 3 happen for me, please. And bye-bye.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Filmistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon, at patreon.com/Filmistines, and follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching, keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Filmistines, signing off.
A little too long. It felt long.